GDP negative growth?
Well, yes. So I think most people expect that the second quarter of the year has been better than the first. But a critical question to ask is, have things improved compared to the second quarter of 2016? So at the time, of course, the exchange rate hadn't been, devalued yet and so on. So the question we try to ask is, are we going to see a technical economic recovery, meaning that is economic growth going to be positive year on year in Q2 2017? And the way we see it, the answer is yes. We use the PMI numbers as an indicator. So for 3 straight months, we have seen positive numbers showing that the economy is expanding. But at the same time, we can point to oil production, which is up about 5 to 10% this quarter compared to this time in 2016, when we had just started seeing the increased militancy in that region. So there are indications clearly that the economy is rebounding. But obviously, until we see the numbers out in, let's say, July, August, we will not have a definitive picture that, yes, we are out of the recession.
Michael, look at some of the subsectors that the central bank report on Monday, out on the street on Monday, actually fingered as the leaders: footwear, leather, furniture, computers, electronics. These are sectors where not the multinationals, as it were, isn't it?
Well, so I think that would determine on who's filling out the survey. So the PMI is a business manager survey. So the survey goes out to different industries and different managers, and they are the ones that give these numbers that inform the CBN's data. So I don't have visibility in terms of who is responding to these questions. But yes, you are right in saying that a number of these industries aren't necessarily dominated by large foreign manufacturers, for example. So there is an improvement in that sense. We do believe that the CBN moves in the last couple of months to expand foreign exchange access to smaller businesses through a particular window has probably helped, because regardless of whether you're a small or large manufacturer, you are likely to be importing a decent number of your raw materials. So access to dollars is vital, and we've seen that improve in the last few months, and that has definitely contributed to this improvement in positive sentiment generally.
Michael, your report from Vativa concluded by saying there's an improved policy space to bolster the economy. That's what that's what you wrote. Do you think there is more room, and what more room? What would you folks at Vativa would like to see in terms of fiscal policies to bolster, as I got it, to make it bigger and bolder and more active moving forward?
Yeah, I think the key is more active. We have bold and big fiscal policy. We had that in 2016. We just didn't have as much activity as was needed to prevent a drop in economic activity. And that's really the change that we're looking at in 2017, or for the second half of 2017. With the budget passed in the start of June, we have about 6 to 7 calendar months to ramp up capital expenditure, especially. And it's the pace at which that is executed that is going to play a big role in determining the improvements we see this year. At the same time, we do believe that non-fiscal measures such as the improvements in ease of doing business area would help productivity in the economy. Those are low-hanging but quick wins that can really help. And it's important that as we focus on fiscal policy and the large-scale spending, we don't miss these quick wins that can really help us speed up the pace of recovery.
Yeah, well, Michael, you're an economist, and of course, you alluded earlier, oil is still very crucial to Nigeria's economic recovery, survival, and growth, whatever pillars you're looking at in the short to medium term. The force majeure on Bonny for cattle is out, and the second, oil export flow. Despite the price of oil still being a little bit stubborn to the downside, how much impact do you think this will have on these economic projections moving forward, in your opinion, the oil sector?
Well, yeah, you're totally right. The oil sector is still crucial. I think for the oil price, again, the price is just hovering below $50 a barrel, less attractive than the first few months of the year. At the same time, the budget benchmark is only $44.50. We haven't seen oil price go below that so far this year in terms of Brent prices. So even with prices between the range of $45 to $50 a barrel, which isn't as high as we would like, it is still above the budget benchmark. I think where we have still fallen short is in terms of production. So it's great news that Focados is back on near full capacity. According to the Department of Petroleum Resources, June, oil production was somewhere around 2.05 million barrels a day, which is as high as I remember since about mid last year. So we are seeing an improvement in that space. That said, the budget benchmark is 2.2 million barrels a day. So we do still have a ways to go on that. And I think it's that interplay between price and volume that will ultimately determine how much we have to spend on a fiscal basis, but also the level of liquidity probably in the foreign exchange market. And those two factors are probably the two most important in determining the pace of the economic recovery going forward.
Michael, thank you very much for coming through. We apologize we lost the Skype video connection a few minutes into that conversation. Sorry, we miss your very fine, pretty face on the television screen. Thank you very much for coming through on the program and bringing us your thoughts from Vativa Capital Management, the economist Michael Famoroti. Let's come back after the break. And the market is always king here on Business Morning and on Channels Television, where news is greater. Let's come back after the break from Afrinvest. Let's talk to Eromosele Aziba, giving us a bit of what we call a trading day analysis.